Happy Harvick is calling it a career. Kevin Harvick made it official today that 2023 will be his final full-time season in the NASCAR Cup Series. So let's take a look back at some of the best of Kevin Harvick's Hall of Fame Cup Series career today on Shifting Gears. I'm Alan Bailey, and before we get happy one final time in 2023, make sure you smash that subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest videos, and log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Kevin Harvick got into the NASCAR Cup Series in 2001 after the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr. The original plan was for Happy to more or less do a couple of starts in 2001 in the 30 AOL car and then go full-time in 02 in the 30 AOL car. But obviously the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr. in the 2001 Daytona 500 drastically changed those plans. Honestly, you gotta hand it to Happy Harvick because he actually ran the Cup Series and the Xfinity schedule full-time in 2001 under extraordinarily difficult circumstances. Let's take a look at the top 10 Kevin Harvick moments in the NASCAR Cup Series. Number 10 is the 2011 Coca-Cola 600 victory. A lot of people were upset at this because it came at the expense of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Honestly, yeah, Junior had the car late right there, but didn't have enough fuel, and Kevin capitalized, and you gotta hand it to him. You gotta be in the right place at the right time. There's no such thing as getting lucky in the NASCAR Cup Series. Number 9 on the list is a win that in and of itself doesn't seem that significant, but when you take a step back, it was massive for Kevin's career. Win number 49 at the Texas Motor Speedway in November of 2019. With this victory, Kevin Harvick tied team owner Tony Stewart for the most victories in the NASCAR Cup Series. Massive win for him at the time, and he is nowhere near done after this one. Number 8 on the list actually goes to Kevin's 4th victory in the NASCAR Cup Series, the 2003 Brickyard 400. I would argue that this is when Kevin Harvick truly started to be Kevin Harvick in the NASCAR Cup Series. Not only did he break out of the shadow of Dale Earnhardt Sr. in 2003, but he went on to get more victories after this point, but this hands down was his first major victory in that classic number 29 Chevy for RCR. Number 7 on the list goes to an epic photo finished, and it's not the only one on this list. Talladega back in 2010. Harvick was just there all race, but specifically put himself right there at the very end. This is a guy that knows how to race the plate tracks, and as you can see here, Kevin just pulled away pushing McMurray. He knew what he had to do, and he knew he had to time it perfectly, and that's exactly what he did. He got right up behind that one car, stayed there, and just kind of lingered until it was his time to shine. He pulled out, coming through the tri-oval, got back to the line first in what at the time was one of the closest finishes in NASCAR history. Number 6 on the list is significant for me personally because I was there. The 2011 Auto Club 400 victory. Honestly, this was a 3-horse battle. In the closing laps, Kyle Busch in the 18, Jimmy Johnson in the 48, and Kevin Harvick in the 29 were all battling for position, and this is vintage Auto Club Speedway at its 2-mile configuration at its best. I could see Kevin coming. With about 10 to go, I started saying, keep an eye on Kevin Harvick, and then sure enough, on the white flag, he was wound up high and fast on that high side, got the run down the back straightaway, and simply never looked back. Past Jimmy Johnson coming off of turn number 4 as Johnson was trying everything he could to make it work, but Kevin Harvick got the victory in a last lap pass out at Auto Club Speedway. Epic. Number 5 on my list actually goes to 2 races back to back, the 2020 and 2019 Brickyard 400 victories. This was massive because not only did Kevin Harvick get his 2nd and 3rd Brickyard 400 victories, but he got 2 victories for Tony Stewart. at Indianapolis. That in and of itself meant so much to Tony Stewart. To do it back-to-back made it that much more special, and to be honest, I think it meant just as much to Kevin Harvick as it did to Tony Stewart. Number 4 on the list goes to the 2014 Southern 500 victory. It was Kevin's 25th victory, and honestly, this guy owned it. You have to be a pro at Darlington in order to win at that track. He was right there when it counted, and that's exactly what you have to do in the NASCAR Cup Series, and it definitely cemented Kevin as the guy who wins those crown jewel moments. Number 3 on the list goes to his very first victory. It was only a few weeks after the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr., and he quite literally had the weight of the world on his shoulders. He was constantly practicing either the Xfinity car or the Cup car, running both of those seasons simultaneously, doing a lot of media with a lot of pressure and a lot of emotion surrounding the circumstances behind him in the Cup Series, and he simply went out to Atlanta Motor Speedway, his third ever start, and got the job done. Yes, he held off a late charge from defending NASCAR Cup champ Jeff Gordon and barely squeaked out his very first victory at Atlanta. It was emotional for him, for the crew, and for all of NASCAR Nation. And fittingly, it's number 3 on this list. Number 2 is win number 11 for Kevin Harvick, that epic photo finish in the 2007 Daytona 500. I know, a lot of fans don't like this race because, frankly, we're all Mark Martin fans and we wanted to see Mark get a 500 victory. But Kevin Harvick would be the 500 champ this day, winning in that number 29 car with his brand new sponsors, Shell Pennzoil, with its decked out red and yellow paint scheme. A lot of people still argue to this day whether or not NASCAR should have thrown the caution and ended the race coming off of turn 4, but instead NASCAR elected to let them race back to the finish, and it gave us one of the most classic finishes in Daytona 500 history. And of course, number 1 on the list should not be a surprise to anyone. It's Kevin Harvick winning the 2014 NASCAR Cup Series championship at Homestead Miami Speedway, winning the race and the championship, and of all things, holding off a late race charge from Ryan Newman in the 31 car, his former organization. Newman hadn't won a victory all year, but late in that race, he was threatening not only to win the race, but win the championship, and Kevin Harvick, who had the better season all year long, wasn't going to let that happen. He got up on the wheel and got the job done when it mattered, and got Stewart-Haas its second championship. Now, there's a million other Kevin Harvick moments from the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, plus his off-track antics. There could honestly be multiple videos on Kevin Harvick's career on and off the track. Some people will argue, is he a Hall of Fame driver? I think hands down Kevin Harvick is a Hall of Fame driver. If you take away his championship, his Brickyard 400 victories, his Southern 500 victory, his Daytona 500 victory, this is still a guy that is currently tied with Kyle Busch for 9th on the all-time NASCAR Cup Series win list at 60 apiece. Honestly, I don't think Kevin Harvick is going to touch Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s 76 victories. Maybe Kyle Busch can touch that mark, but you still have to look at what Kevin Harvick has done throughout his entire career. This is a guy that ultimately helped shape NASCAR into what it is today, and he's still doing it off the track with his management team. No, he's not a car owner in the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series anymore, but honestly, once he retires from racing and presumably steps into the Fox Sports booth, maybe that could change down the road. We know his son Keelan is a racer and is expected to, at some point, maybe drive in the NASCAR Cup Series, but that's years away. For now, looking at Kevin Harvick's entire career, he is clearly a Hall of Fame driver. But let's keep this debate going. What are your top 10 Kevin Harvick NASCAR Cup Series victories? Let me know in the comments down below. And you can also help support the channel for free by hitting the subscribe button, liking this video, and sharing it on social media. It helps to grow the channel for free, and it means so much to me, so thank you so much. And if you like other games, then you have to check out our brand new second channel right here on YouTube, Alan Battles. Link is in the description below. You can also follow me on social media at HeyAlanBailey and log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. And don't forget to check out Shifting Gears Live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on youtube.com/HeyAlanBailey. Thank you so much for watching. For Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see you at the track.